in the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and Japan deepened. And more stimulus needed to boost consumer spending. In our world news, we'll take a look at the rising tensions in South Korean politics.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. The Vietnam War Veterans Association held its 7th Patriotic Emulation Congress, celebrated the 35th anniversary of its establishment, and received the first-class labor order on Wednesday in Hanoi. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm attended the event and delivered a keynote speech.
Since its establishment 35 years ago, the Vietnam War Veterans Association has consistently played a vital role in representing the views and rights of veterans, building a proud tradition of loyalty, unity, exemplary reform, and positively contributing to the cause of national construction and defense. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm highly appreciated the effectiveness of the Vietnam War Veterans Association's exemplary veteran emulation movements. The party chief also suggested that the activities and emulation work of the association be closely linked to the political system's strategic objectives in the coming years.
The Vietnam War Veterans Association is encouraged to innovate and enhance its activities to meet the growing demands of national development, defense, and foreign relations. All members should maintain a spirit of patriotic emulation, recognize their responsibilities, and contribute to the country's common goals in the new era. The sacrifices of past generations and veterans should inspire action towards building a prosperous, strong, democratic, just, and progressive Vietnam.
The party leader suggested that the Vietnam War Veterans Association should closely coordinate with all levels, the Vietnam Fatherland Front and other organizations to implement grassroots democracy regulations and the party's guidelines on role models, supervision, and social criticism. The association should actively contribute to building a just, effective, and efficient party and government.
Linking the exemplary veterans emulation movement with local and national campaigns, such as those promoting rural development and cultural life in communities, should be enhanced. These initiatives contribute significantly to achieving the socio-economic, security, defense, and foreign policy goals set by the 13th National Party Congress in preparation for the 14th Congress. Additionally, the focus should be on identifying, nurturing, and replicating successful models while improving the recognition and rewards for exemplary individuals and groups, particularly in difficult areas like mountains, borders, islands, and ethnic regions.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, on behalf of the party and state leadership, awarded the Vietnam War Veterans Association the first-class labor order.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm hosted a reception in Hanoi on December 4th from Maeda Tadashi, Chair of the Board of Directors of the Japan Bank for International Cooperation (JBIC). The party chief commended JBIC and Chair Maeda for contributing to Vietnam's infrastructure development and climate change response. He emphasized Vietnam's commitment to cooperation with Japan, particularly in transportation infrastructure, energy, and digital technology. He also welcomed the Zero Emission Asia Community Initiative and urged JBIC to continue supporting Vietnam in these areas. Chair Maeda affirmed that Vietnam is a key partner for JBIC and expressed readiness to collaborate in energy transition, artificial intelligence, big data, and startup support. Deputy Prime Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn also requested JBIC's assistance in digital transformation, green transition, and clean energy, while encouraging Japanese businesses to invest in Vietnam's infrastructure and manufacturing industries. Now, on Wednesday morning, State President Lương Cường and the National Assembly delegation of Thanh Hóa Province met with voters after the 8th session of the 15th National Assembly. State President Lương Cường briefed voters about some of the country's outstanding achievements in socio-economic and foreign affairs since the beginning of the year, attributing these results to the high level of solidarity and unity. And during the meeting, voters raised several recommendations regarding support for teachers and students in mountainous areas, assistance for people facing emergencies, and matters concerning the law on militia and self-defense forces and civil defense activities. In response to these recommendations, State President Lương Cường reaffirmed the party's commitment to eliminating institutional bottlenecks and developing a streamlined, robust, and efficient organizational structure. And on December 4th, State President Lương Cường visited the Bát Mọt Border Guard Station in Thanh Hóa Province as part of his trip to meet voters following the 15th National Assembly's 8th session. He praised the station for effectively managing a 17.49-kilometer section of the border, including the Kheo Tha Lao Auxiliary Border Gate on National Highway 47, connecting to Sam Tho District in Laos Hua Phang Province. The station plays a crucial role in safeguarding territorial sovereignty, combating crime, and supporting socio-economic development. The state president urged the officers to continue their core duties in border protection, crime prevention, and disaster response, while strengthening ties with Lao border security forces to maintain a peaceful, cooperative border. Later, State President Lương Cường visited a 102-year-old heroic Vietnamese martyr and a war invalid and paid respects at the Lam Kinh National Relic Site in Thọ Xuân District. On Wednesday morning, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a government meeting to implement Resolution number 18 of the 12th Party Central Committee. He instructed ministries, branches, and agencies to thoroughly grasp the direction of the Central Steering Committee and government. They must promptly establish a steering committee with ministry support teams to implement Resolution 18 and promote organizational streamlining initiatives. The Prime Minister acknowledged this as a difficult, complicated, and sensitive task, but emphasized its necessity, citing the current cumbersome apparatus with excessive administrative layers and intermediaries that create workflow bottlenecks. He outlined plans to streamline the structure by organizing multi-sectoral and multidisciplinary ministries, reducing intermediaries, and phasing out the model of general departments under ministries. National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn, his spouse, and a high-ranking Vietnamese legislature delegation arrived in Tokyo on December 3rd evening, starting a 5-day official visit to Japan. Now, on Wednesday, the National Assembly Chair held talks with the Speaker of the Japanese House of Representatives, Nukaga Fukushiro.
The Speaker of the Japanese House of Representatives, Nukaga Fukushiro, warmly welcomed Vietnam's top legislator's first official visit to Japan in his new capacity and expressed his sympathy to Vietnam over the damage caused by Typhoon Yagi. He reaffirmed Japan's commitment to cooperating with and assisting Vietnam in disaster prevention and recovery efforts. The Vietnamese top lawmaker affirmed that Vietnam regards Japan as one of its top long-term partners and supports Japan in actively contributing to peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the region and the world. The two sides agreed to enhance coordination and mutual support at multilateral forums and mechanisms regarding international and regional issues. The Vietnamese leader took the occasion to invite his Japanese counterpart to pay an official visit to Vietnam.
Also, on Wednesday, National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn and his spouse had an audience with the Emperor and Empress of Japan at the Imperial Palace in Japan. Japan's Emperor Naruhito and the Empress expressed their pleasure in welcoming the Vietnamese leader and his spouse on their official visit to Japan. They thanked Vietnam for its support after the Noto Peninsula earthquake and expressed condolences for Typhoon Yagi in Vietnam. The National Assembly chair affirmed that Japan's image is increasingly familiar to the Vietnamese people, strengthening mutual trust and understanding. The Vietnamese leader expressed hope that the Japanese royal family would continue supporting the development of the comprehensive strategic partnership for peace and prosperity in Asia and internationally. On the same day, National Assembly Chair Chan Thaek-month met with several local Japanese leaders. During his meeting with the governor of Nara Prefecture, Yamashita Makoto, the Vietnamese leader congratulated the local government on its recent agreement with Thua Tien Huy Province. During his meeting with Nikai Toshihiro, the chair of the Japan-Vietnam Parliamentary Friendship Alliance and the Vietnamese National Assembly chair praised the alliance's role in strengthening the friendship between Vietnam and Japan. In his meeting with the governor of Kanagawa, the Vietnamese National Assembly chair highlighted the province's potential and strengths in economics, culture, science and technology, tourism, and manufacturing industries.
Earlier, at a meeting with the staff of the Vietnamese Embassy in Japan, National Assembly Chair Chan Thaek-month acknowledged and praised the efforts of the ambassador and embassy staff for their contributions to strengthening the Vietnam-Japan strategic partnership. He mentioned that the National Assembly had approved amendments to Decree No. 08 to improve benefits for Vietnamese diplomats abroad. The Vietnamese top legislator encouraged the embassy staff to continue working responsibly, supporting Vietnamese citizens in Japan with residence, business, and study matters.
On December 4th, at the Party Central Committee headquarters, Politburo member, a permanent member of the Party Central Committee's Secretariat, and chair of the Party Central Committee's Inspection Commission, Trần Cẩm Tú, held talks with Bun Thang Chipmani, a permanent member of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, LPRP Central Committee's Secretariat, and Vice President of Laos, during his official visit to Vietnam from December 3rd to 6th. Trần Cẩm Tú welcomed the visit, emphasizing its significance in strengthening the special friendship and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Laos. Bun Thang Chipmani expressed gratitude for the warm reception, congratulated Vietnam on its achievements during the renewal process, and voiced confidence in Vietnam's continued strong development under the leadership of the Communist Party. He also shared updates on Laos' situation and recent successes, particularly in implementing the 11th Congress resolution and fulfilling its role as ASEAN and APA 45 chair in 2024. On the same day, Lê Minh Hưng, Secretary of the Party Central Committee, head of the Party Central Committee's Organization Commission, and Chief of the Party Central Committee's office, met with Bun Thang Chipmani to exchange experiences in party-building work. Now, on the evening of December 3rd, at the 10th National External Information Awards ceremony, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, Politburo member, Secretary of the CPV Central Committee, and Chairman of the CPV Central Committee's Commission for Information and Education, emphasized that this year's entries vividly portrayed an image of a resilient, dynamic, integrated, and developing Vietnam. Through these works, the world recognizes Vietnam's achievements and the nation's strong aspiration to develop further. He called for the continued mobilization of the entire population and international friends to create a people's front and international solidarity in external information efforts. Coming up next on VTV News. More stimulus needed to boost consumer spending. And let's look at Hà Giang's breakthrough in eliminating child marriage. Welcome back to VTV News. Temu has suspended its services after the Ministry of Industry and Trade required additional documentation to operate in Vietnam. Currently, orders made on the Temu platform cannot be processed for custom clearance into Vietnam. Custom procedures will be carried out only when authorized by the Ministry of Industry and Trade for goods imported or exported through the platform. Temu must remove promotions that do not comply with Vietnamese trade promotion laws. Consumers are warned that the Ministry of Industry and Trade has not licensed this application and should exercise caution when making transactions. The last month of the year is also the peak of consumer spending, and according to a PwC survey, the top 3 items that Vietnamese consumers are increasing spending on are essentials, clothing, and healthcare products. And for other items, most Vietnamese consumers remain concerned about their finances. The Ministry of Industry and Trade is supporting businesses and distributors and boosting promotions to stimulate consumer spending.
To boost sales, businesses are ramping up their presence on e-commerce platforms, partnering with influencers to sell through live streams, also known as affiliate marketing, and offering promotions such as buy one, get one free. During the recent Black Friday event, sales on e-commerce platforms increased by over 250% compared to regular days.
Online business helps us reduce operational costs, making it easier for us to implement customer promotions. Coupled with nationwide shopping stimulus programs, this has helped increase our brand recognition and attract new customers.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade recently launched the Vietnam Grand Sale 2024. Last year, during this program, businesses across goods production and payment services implemented nearly 75,000 promotional campaigns, contributing to a nearly 3% increase in retail sales and service revenue. This year, the forecast is even more promising.
When there is government direction, brands will be more motivated to participate in a focused manner, drawing greater attention from society rather than engaging in ad hoc programs.
Starting this December, businesses wishing to offer discounts or giveaways as promotions will no longer need to complete administrative procedures.
Decree 128, effective from December 1, 2024, states that 5 of 7 types of promotions will no longer require administrative procedures.
Hundreds of thousands of promotional-related administrative procedures are expected to be eliminated, helping businesses reduce compliance costs by over 90%. With fewer procedures, businesses will have more resources to better tap into the domestic consumer market.
Vietnam has significant opportunities to become a key player in the global supply chain, particularly in exporting green and sustainable goods. The Ministry of Industry and Trade held a Green Export Promotion Forum on December 4th, and according to the ministry, preparing Vietnam's export products to meet sustainable standards is essential for their survival. This requires a comprehensive strategy, ranging from government guidance to proactive efforts by businesses to invest in green transformation solutions. The ministry will develop policies and plans to provide effective support based on business proposals. Additionally, industry associations and businesses will be guided in implementing trade promotion activities that align with the new context and global trends in sustainable trade. Various types of household waste, including industrial waste such as plastic, nylon, rubber, and rags, are now being repurposed as fuel in clinker kilns at numerous cement factories through the waste co-processing method. This approach integrates waste treatment and energy recovery into cement clinker production. It eliminates waste, reduces reliance on fossil fuels, and also lowers CO2 emissions. Many localities and organizations are actively promoting the adoption of this environmentally friendly practice.
Lump Tack Cement Factory has used industrial waste as kiln fuel for over 3 years. By processing over 150 tons of industrial waste daily in its clinker kilns, the factory saves nearly $8,000 daily compared to coal.
By conserving coal dust for clinker production, the factory reduces coal dust usage by approximately 20%.
the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment has authorized 10 out of 67 cement factories to implement waste co-processing. Waste is fully incinerated with kiln temperatures exceeding 1,400 degrees Celsius, leaving no ash or pollutants.
A continuous online monitoring system is connected to environmental agencies, focusing on emissions monitoring.
Many local authorities are urging the acceleration of incentive mechanisms to advance waste co-processing in cement kilns and the implementation of waste classification at source early next year.
It is proposed that the green labeling process for factories implementing co-processing is finalized and that the adoption of green products be encouraged.
Vietnam has nearly 100 cement production lines capable of burning and recovering heat from approximately 6 million tons of solid waste annually. Advancing the waste co-processing solution helps reduce CO2 emissions, conserve resources, and foster a circular economy.
Hà Giang Province has made significant progress in reducing early and incestuous marriage, especially in ethnic communities. And through Resolution number 27, the province aims to eliminate harmful customs and promote a progressive lifestyle by 2025, with a vision for 2030. The education sector has played a key role in implementing school awareness campaigns, and as a result, the rate of early and incestuous marriage has significantly decreased in recent years.
Although only in 9th grade, this girl was already married.
I asked to go to my parents' house, but he wouldn't let me. We argued, and then he beat me and strangled me. I almost died. That's when I decided I didn't want to stay married to him anymore. I ran away and returned home.
Early marriage often leads children to overlook the long-term consequences, which impact various aspects of their lives.
Upon returning to school, Munt participated in sex education and reproductive health classes, gaining a deeper understanding of the consequences of early and incestuous marriages. This is just one of many initiatives implemented in schools by Sin Munt District, Hà Giang Province, in collaboration with Plan International.
Thanks to lessons on reproductive health and gender, the students at our school have become more confident, self-aware, and knowledgeable about their needs, desires, and what they should avoid.
Through the lessons, I have gained more knowledge, raised my awareness, and developed skills to prevent and combat sexual harassment and abuse. I also share this knowledge with my friends.
Through her sex education classes, this girl became an active member of the Change Leaders Club at her school. In the club, she gained the opportunity to speak out on issues related to sex, child marriage, and gender-based violence.
Each school has 2 leadership clubs. At the district level, there is the District Children's Council. At the provincial level, the Provincial Children's Council. And at the national level, there is the Children's National Assembly. The children receive training on the harmful effects of child marriage. The children representing Hà Giang bring forward the issues faced by children in Hà Giang to be addressed at the Children's National Assembly mock session.
Sex education, along with initiatives to prevent early and child marriage, as well as school violence, have been widely implemented in schools. Students have gained essential skills through communication activities focused on sex education, preventing school violence, and addressing early and incestuous marriages.
The education sector of Hà Giang Province, in collaboration with social organizations, has made significant strides in eliminating early marriage and outdated customs.
Coming up next in our world news, rising tensions in South Korean politics. And UN Security Council holds emergency meeting on Syrian conflict. Now moving on to our world news, the political crisis in South Korea continues to escalate, with President Yoon Suk-yeol facing mounting opposition pressure. On Wednesday, a coalition of 6 opposition parties submitted an impeachment bill to the National Assembly, which garnered support from all 191 opposition lawmakers. No ruling People's Power Party members participated in the move. And under South Korean law, an impeachment bill requires approval from at least 2/3 of the National Assembly, meaning it would need the backing of at least 200 lawmakers to pass. Earlier, President Yoon declared emergency martial law to suppress opposing forces. And this marks the first time in over 4 decades that such a declaration has been made. However, following significant pressure from the National Assembly, Yoon reversed the decision and announced the lifting of a martial law. In further blow to the administration, President Yoon's senior aides, including his Chief of Staff, National Security Advisor, and 8 others, have resigned in the wake of the crisis. The political turmoil has sent shockwaves through South Korea's financial and currency markets. Now, nearly a week after the outbreak of conflict in Syria, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency meeting to address the escalating crisis. The meeting was called at the request of the Syrian government. During the session, the UN Special Envoy for Syria urged all parties involved to adhere to their obligations under international law. Meanwhile, tensions between Russia and the United States have risen, with both accusing each other of playing destabilizing roles and interfering in the conflict. On the ground, Syrian rebel groups from the Al-Fatah al-Mubin alliance have seized control of most major cities in Aleppo province. They are advancing toward the city of Hama, while Syrian government forces and their allies have managed to prevent a full occupation of Hama. The situation remains intense, with daily clashes continuing in the area. The Russian Defense Ministry announced on Thursday that the country's military has conducted naval and air force exercises in the eastern Mediterranean, including the use of hypersonic missiles. More than 1,000 personnel, 10 ships, and 24 aircraft participated in the drills. Now, during the exercises, Russian ships launched the Zircon hypersonic missile and the Kalib cruise missile, both capable of carrying nuclear warheads. The ministry also released footage of multiple missiles fired from ships and land, successfully striking simulated targets. Russia's presence in the eastern Mediterranean is reinforced by its naval base in the Syrian port of Tartus. Now, as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.